Okay, 3 things you probably don't know about Islam, added to the addendum. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Thomas Little. I'm sorry, Scott. Got ahead of myself here. Mr. Andrew Chuck, please state your name and address for the record.
Scott Andrewchak. I'm not going to defend, I'm not going to comment anymore on the aspects of the book. These folks, I think, very eloquently stated that the book is wrong, the committee is wrong, and I don't need to add anything else to it. My problem is how this whole process happened. I believe that this committee and the school board violated the sunshine rules starting in November by not publicly noticing that meeting. Now, Attorney McKinley came to the next meeting and said, well, he could interpret it either way. I don't think that's the case. I think you violated the sunshine rules, and you should have had that open to the public. Why would you not have it open to the public? Okay, not just that, but there were so many other incidences. I have made 4 public records requests for emails related to how the committee was put together. 2 months ago, I've been denied those emails. I've made requests for the documents as how this committee was put together. I've been denied those requests. I've asked for the next textbook that you have on your waiting list to purchase. For over 2 months, you have not supplied me that textbook. I would like to see what's in the next textbook. Okay, and I remind you all that we are taxpayers and we have a right to these documents, we have a right to these emails, and we have a right to that textbook since we are paying for that textbook, which you're going to teach to our children. There was more violations. At the next meeting in January, people were complaining to you that they could not hear what the committee was saying at the table. This is a direct violation of Sunshine Law where everybody is supposed to be able to hear what the committee is talking about. Now you can say that we were gracious enough to allow the public to come in. I don't think that's exactly how it works. That committee was appointed by the school board, okay, and under the Florida Sunshine Laws, that committee, because you approved it, that committee is open to the public. We have a right to hear your conversation. Okay, there's many, many violations going on here, and I say, you know, there's so much secrecy around this thing. I can't get any information. This is un-American, and you should just let us know what's going on. It's not a hard thing to do if you actually want to be open and honest. And I'm sorry, I can't actually see how much time I have. Thank you.
Let's take a note.
So. And the worst thing is today I see a video of a teacher who I think was actually on your committee calling a Christian convert a, quote, pardon my language, a dumbass in a classroom in Charlotte County. He's actually calling a Christian convert a dumbass. Okay, I believe it's the teacher who was actually on this committee. I'd like to know how he got on this committee, because I don't think he should be on the committee. And then he actually says in that classroom that that king of Russia, who's actually a beloved figure from what I'm told, 1,000 years ago as he brought his people from paganism into Christianity, his conversion was one of the dumbest things ever. That's a quote by this teacher, was one of the dumbest things ever because, quote, Muslims, Jews, and Christians all pray to the same God. And so I would say to you,
your time is,
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would say that this teacher is a bigot. He sounds as anti-religious as they come, and I think you should remove him. And I thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. May I remind you that no applause or demonstrations are allowed. Thomas Little to be followed by Robert Reichert.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Little, 5035 Key Largo Drive in Punta Gorda. As I reviewed the textbook, and I've got to tell you that I spent my time mostly on the one, Earth and Its Peoples, I was greatly dismayed at seeing how the goods were puffed. That's a colloquialism from my Georgia background that says a salesman will puff the goods. And this textbook puffs the goods for the wrong thing. And it shouldn't be in our history books. I have a few very specific examples, because I know that you have not read all of the books. Starting on page 241, the very introductory page for Part 3, Chapter 8. Here's a picture of the map of the world, and I read you the text because you get the flavor of how this whole book is oriented in the wrong direction. The text reads, "The oldest surviving world map comes from medieval Islamic culture." A blatant, outright lie. The book is full of lies such as this. The earliest written map comes from Babylonia, and it's from the encyclopedia, 600 BC. And the earliest worldwide map comes 546 BC. And so this Islamic map from 1,000 years later is not the world's earliest map. And this is indicative of what's in this book throughout the whole book. Secondly, on page 241 also, the text reads, "Muslim doctors and astronomers developed skills and theories far in advance of their European counterparts." Working in the 11th century mathematician and physicist, it goes on about how he developed and did some astronomy proving a Milky Way existed. The Muslims invaded India about 900. The Indians had a culture which produced astronomy and mathematics far in excess of what we could believe. And indeed, when the Muslims were thrown out of India 300 years later, they carried back their mathematics system and called it the Arabic system. From the encyclopedia, once again, we discover that in 1600 BC, the Indians documented a mathematics system which included algebra, negative numbers, trigonometry, cosines, sines, zero, and negative numbers. It had far advanced mathematics, and it didn't originate with the Muslim culture, as you would believe if you read the textbook. It's in here. Secondly, the Indian astronomy, which dates back to 1200 before Christian era, 1200 years before Christ, showed that at that time, in the documents that were written there, they proved that the planets rotated around the sun and that the planets themselves rotated, and it went on through all the different astronomical things which existed 1,000, 1,500 years before Western Europe or the Muslims came along.
Mr. Little, your time is up. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I appreciate your efforts. Bob Reichert to be followed by Bill Ora.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Winokur. My name is Bob Reichert. I reside at 17043 Torion Lane, Punta Gorda. The challenge of the use of the two textbooks, The Earth and Its People, A Global History, a 10th grade advanced placement textbook published by Wadsworth Fengage, Learning and World History Connections to Today, published by Prentice Hall, is not unique to the Charlotte County School